Hi, guys. Good morning. It's Miss Delgazo here. I made a recording on a program called Loom. We will be doing Google Meets during the course of the day, so you need to communicate with me. If you don't understand concepts, I will communicate through Google Classroom and my website. So look at the main menu, there's links that could go to the times for Google Meets on my website and the codes, and as well as on Google Classroom. Now, at the end of this presentation, I will probably have an assignment, either two worksheets or possibly a note taking process that'll help you with the concept that needs to be submitted in a week. So if I say, April 1st, it's going to be due the latest by Wednesday, April 8th. We are doing this virtual learning and virtual teaching until April 9th. Then it's spring break, and then we can only hope for the best. So if you do go out, make sure you're 6 feet apart from someone. Make sure you're wearing gloves and a mask if you have bandanas. I've been going out with a mask and a bandana over my nose and my mouth. So, and it's only for necessary reasons like ShopRite or Walmart. And if you do go through a drive-through, make sure you're wearing gloves and disposable ones so that you can dispose of them. And then I've been going nuts with Lysol. But enough of that. Okay, so your book is Diversity of Life. Okay, the Sea Slug book. I'm on page 80, and I did watch the Untamed videos, and it did not have student access for that part, but I wanted to explain to you on page 80 what's unusual about these trees. So it says, how do you know a plant when you see it? So if we look at the huge trees, it has a huge trunk. So this is with its wide trunk and short stubby branches. The baobab tree looks like a sweet potato because it's brown. It does. Or an upside down tree. Seen from miles away, African savanna, the baobab can live for over 1,000 years and can grow up or two over 23 meters high and 27 meters around the trunk. It would take about 18 teenagers to actually put their arms around, wide, spreading around, and fingertips touching to encircle this type of tree that's so wide. After I explain to you about the amazing plant defenses, you can answer the drawing conclusion question on page 80 of why do you think the baobab tree has such a wide trunk and short branches only at the very top. So in the Untamed video, she was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and she went into a greenhouse for amazing plant defenses, and she asked the question of, do you know how plants defend and protect themselves? So when you think about it, plants really can't move around. They make their own food, and they have three ways that they can defend themselves. One is mechanical, which is like a good example would be like a rose bush. It has thorns. Okay, so if an animal came up to it, it has its thorns to protect itself so that animal would not eat it, or spiny, kind of sharp edges along its leaves or its actual trunk. So another mechanical defense is for a plant is maybe like a fuzzy carpet of hair. So if we touched it, we would feel it. But if an animal actually bit or tried to bite it, it would feel fuzzy to its taste, so it wouldn't want to eat it. Another type of amazing plant defense would be chemical. So if an animal comes creeping along a plant, it takes a bite out of certain types of plants, and it relieves or releases a poisonous taste to the animal that would taste bad, and it could be fatal. Okay, so there's chemicals in its tissues, and it would cause burning sensations. And the last kind of amazing plant defense would be mimicry. So she showed us a plant and she was like kind of laying on it, and it had beautiful flowers on it, and butterflies go up to these flowers and get their food, but they want to drop their eggs on there, and then a caterpillar would be a critter that would be very dangerous to the plant. So what this plant does is it actually um, provides like a mimicry defense and has dots along it, so it can prevent that from happening. Okay, so on to the PowerPoint. Chapter preview is on page 83. We're on lesson 1. You can see your vocabulary words on the top of page 83 and the top of page 85. So you have chlorophyll, photosynthesis, you have tissue, chloroplast, you have vacuole, cuticle, and vascular tissue. Okay, so we're going to start the PowerPoint. We are on page 84. And what is a plant? Diversity of life. Okay, the essential questions here is what you're going to take out of it is what characteristics do all plants share? And the second one is what do plants need to live successfully on land? Now you have My Planet Diary. It's about how does your garden grow? And then down below the paragraph is what characteristics do all plants share? Now on the top of page 85 are your vocab words again. And what characteristics is the big idea do all plants share? In highlighted portions are your vocab words. You can see chlorophyll. The definition would be how it is a green pigment found in the chloroplasts of plants, algae, and some bacteria. Okay, so land plants and green algae contain the same forms of chlorophyll. Okay, further comparisons of genetic material clearly show that plants and green algae are very closely related. Now, the key there is where in bold, just like class, you highlight it. That's the most important. Nearly all plants are autotrophs, which are producers, organisms that produce and make their own food, with the exception of some green algae. And all plants contain many cells. In addition, all plant cells are surrounded by cell walls. So you know that animals do not have a cell wall. What is chlorophyll? Okay, here it is. The green pigment, you have streptophytes, and you have chlorophytes. Okay, so all of them are green. Unlocking the big idea, nearly all plants are autotrophs, organisms that produce their own food. With the exception of some green algae, all plants contain many cells. In addition, all plant cells are surrounded by cell walls. Now, if you want to take notes, great. If not, it will be on Google Classroom, so you can go back and listen to this over and over again. Okay, photosynthesis is on the bottom of page 85. Plants are autotrophs, so you can see the sun's energy. Okay, sunlight is providing the energy for the food making process called photosynthesis. So carbon dioxide is going in, this is the sun's energy, and oxygen is coming out. Here's the plant sugars, which is producing the fruit, which is a glucose. Water and minerals are going into the soil to nurture or provide the nutrients with the soil to the roots. Carbon dioxide enters the leaves through stomata, tiny holes in the leaves. Okay, here is the chemical equation for photosynthesis. Now you have carbon dioxide that begins the equation plus water, and then in the middle with the arrow is sun's energy and chlorophyll, which the end products, it produces glucose, which are sugars, and oxygen. Now with respiration, which it isn't discussed yet, they have the same components, but their respiration, the end product starts the equation for respiration. So it'd be glucose, the sugars, plus oxygen. In the middle is the energy, ATP, and then the end products would be carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so that you understand that. Okay, chloroplasts, they are green. They are highly structured membrane-rich organelles. Okay, the outer membrane it has, the inner membrane, so you can see this, outer, inner, thylakoids, okay, and then cranum and the stroma. Sorry. getting ahead of myself. Sorry. Okay, here's chloroplast. Now, if we turn the page to 86 and 87, plants are multicellular. You have tissues. They are groups of similar cells that perform a specific function in the organism. You have onion tissue here on page 86. Looks like um, kind of like scaly. And then you have a plant cell, which the cell wall, vacuola, and chloroplast. So this is chloroplast. Okay, it's definitely green. It has the inner membrane, the outer membrane, and then you have, these are cranums, these are stromas, lilacoid space. Okay. Okay, here is the plasma membrane, and here's the cell wall. So the plant cells, chloroplasts, which look like green jelly beans. It's always going to be green. They are the structures in which food is made, and you have the vacuola, which is a large storage sac that can expand and shrink. The vacuola stores many substances, including water, waste, and food. Okay. Okay, here's a plant cell: central vacuola, tonoplast, cell sap, and central vacuola. Okay. This reminds me of the onion cell, very scaly. Okay, here's a leaf, stem, what it would look like. You cut it, and then the roots are down below. Dermal tissue, ground tissue, and vascular tissue. Okay, the big idea here: what do plants need to live successfully on land? That's on page 87 in your book. Okay, again, the key should be highlighted. For plants to survive on land, they must have ways to obtain water and other nutrients from their surroundings, retaining water, supporting their bodies, transporting materials, and reproduce. So you have a picture of a saguaro cactus in the review after the PowerPoint. I'll go over the roots, how they are spreading horizontally, and the acacia tree is actually going down deep vertically. Okay. Unlocking the big idea. They must have ways to obtain water, okay, and other nutrients from their surrounding. That's in red in a paragraph on page 87 in your book. They retain water, which is on page 87 in a paragraph. They support their bodies, that's with their stems, and then transport materials, which is another paragraph with vascular tissue. And then in retaining water, you have a cuticle, and then you have reproduction. Okay. Now here are the roots going down deep. Okay, kind of like the acacia tree would go down deep. And here you have a cuticle, which is retaining water. Okay, that's what it does in the leaf on page 88 in figure 2. The waxy cuticle of many leaves, like the one below, looks shiny under the light. Okay, so they're kind of waxy. Okay, this is a piece of celery that's been cut, and it's kind of like resembles the actual reproduction or the colorful carnations on page 89. So they filled 3 glasses of water with 2 with food coloring, and they plotted some carnations. They cut the stems. So I did this experiment in 6th grade long time ago. Okay, one is clear, nothing happens to the white carnation. They're all white. Okay, the blue one, the blue food coloring traveled from the bottom all the way to the actual petals of the carnation of the flower, and it kind of got tie-dyed. Okay, so the part of the stem is placed in water with blue dye, and that's what happened. It traveled. Okay, there's one carnation that's been split in the stem, and part of the stem is in red food coloring, and the other one is in blue. So you can see the flower portion that it has both red and blue. Okay. Okay, here's this xylem, phylum, vascular tissue, ground tissue, and epidermis. So going around. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. This is the cell wall protection. How does having cell walls affect the plant's ability to grow? And Again, it's discussed on page 84, with the cell walls being rigid, okay, and the vacuola being a storage sac, and the chloroplast actually being green. Here is the Saguaro cactus on page 87. Getting water in the desert, Saguaro roots spread horizontally and quickly absorb water from a wide area. So here you can see that they are spreading wide. Okay, the acacia tree will get its roots or get its water from deep in the ground. So it's going to go straight down. How are its roots different? So in that box, draw them straight down, which would be great. I think there's a tool here that I can use. Okay, so I am going to use, I guess, green. Should I use green or black? Black. So here is my little thing. Okay, so I'm going to go down, down. Okay, oh, I'm getting a little crazy, but you get the idea. Okay, all right. Okay, the graph shows how much water a plant loses during the day. What would be a good title for the graph? So you can write it here. That's on page, in your book, 88. Okay, guys. All right, so now you're going to look on Google Classroom for 3 worksheets. One is a review. One is about assess your understandings that is within this chapter from pages 88. There's an assess your understanding on 88, and there's assess your understanding on 89. And then there'll be a review, and that you have to submit both. And there will be probably a note-taking one that you have to fill in and submit. And also look on MobyMax or Edpuzzle. So I haven't decided what tutorials I will show you yet. But that's it for now. I want you to say hi to my doggy. Romy, come here. Come here. Come here, Romy. Come here. Come here, baby. His birthday is April 13th. He'll be 8 years old. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Aw. Here he is. Here's Romy with his bow tie. Say hi. Hi, baby boy. Okay, guys. Well, for now, I just took my earphones out. Oh, he's licking me. Okay. Well, I hope all of you, hang on. I hope all of you have a great day, and look for the times where we can meet, every day, Monday to Friday, certain times a day. So keep checking and communicating. Your school day is from 8 to 2. So I wish you well and good luck, and happy spring, and hopefully we'll be together soon. Love you guys. Bye.